Hi, everyone. I'm Dan with Cloze. Thank you for joining this EXP CRM of Choice session. I'm going to start off with a few slides and then give you a live demo. As a reminder, you can put questions in YouTube chat, go into EXP World. We have a set of people on our team who are going to be there to answer your questions. So feel free to ask questions at any point, even while I'm talking. There'll be people to answer your questions. So for those of you who don't know us, we are an AI-powered CRM sales and marketing platform that focus on CRM, marketing automation, and lead management. So we're the standard CRM for Sotheby's, Corcoran, Windermere, and a lot of other brands, specifically where sphere selling is really the core of what they do. Lofty and Bold Trail, they're good platforms for businesses when your business is almost entirely driven off lead gen, and we're great for that too. But for sphere selling, there really is nothing that compares to Cloze, and I'm going to show you a bit about why that is as we go through, and you're going to see that in the demo here as well. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about sort of the nature of sphere selling and some of the data around it. One of the interesting things, you all have databases, right? And so that could be your contact app. It could be an Excel spreadsheet. Maybe you're already using a CRM. But the really interesting thing is, and the research shows that on average, 88% of the people that a typical agent talks to never actually make it into their database. And the reasons are, you meet them at a local event. Maybe it's, on the sideline of a baseball game, a hockey game, something like that. And, there's just no immediate opportunity. So people don't put those contacts into their CRM. And this is why most CRMs struggle with sphere selling, because they're only focused on that 12%. That's the only part of the world that they can see. So to a lot of the traditional CRMs out there, they're kind of like empty boxes. They're empty filing cabinets. And so what they all say is, oh, you could just manually enter all of these people into the system and then everything would be wonderful and magic. But no one really wants to do that. That's just a ton of work, a lot of effort. And so so this ends up being the problem, is the set of people, the contacts that are in there, they're just not, there's just a lot of work to get the people in there. And hopefully, if anyone out there like me who doesn't really like busy work, I'm going to guess there's a few of you who just don't like that. So what we do with Cloze is very different. And so when you think about all of these relationships, there are actually a lot of electronic breadcrumbs out there about these. Maybe you're on a mailing list for your kids' hockey team or your local chamber of commerce. And so Cloze hooks into your history of communication all the way back in time, everyone you've ever talked with, and maps out all of the relationships of all the people that are in your sphere and how are in your sphere and why. And so we keep track of this automatically for you so you don't have to. And so when the time's right, we'll bring a person to your attention and automatically bring in that information. So you don't need to keep focusing on things, entering data yourself. We're going to take care of a lot of that for you. And so a little bit about how we do this. So with Cloze, you connect your email accounts. You can connect calendars, Google Drive, Dropbox, OneNote, Evernote, Slack, lots of different services. And you can even connect your mobile phone. And so we can hook up and get access to your iMessage, your Google Chats, your phone calls automatically, and bring all of that information together into your CRM account. Now, it's entirely up to you what you connect. You can connect one email account. You could connect 10 email accounts. You can connect your phone, not connect your phone. It's entirely up to you. But the thing about Cloze to know is that we're very different than other platforms. No one can see your information. Not us, not EXP, not your team can see your private information. It's 100% private to you. And because we operate in so many different countries, we have to obey the strictest privacy rules in the world. And one of the decisions we made as a business was to apply those rules, those very strict privacy rules worldwide to our entire customer base. And so you choose what people can see of what you're doing. So if you're on a team, you get to choose what information your teammates see, or even just a subset of things. You don't have to share everything. You don't have to share anything with Cloze. It's entirely up to you. It's 100% private to you. And the reason we can do that is that Cloze is built very different than all the other platforms out there. In most platforms, when you're on a team, for example, all of your data is mixed together in one big database. And so it makes it very hard to separate out what's private, what's not, whose information is what. In the Cloze world, every single agent is actually a separate database. And so your information is kept 100% separate from everyone else, even when you're operating on a team. And so this means that if you ever decide to leave your team, or you choose to leave at EXP at some point, you can just unplug your account and take it with you. You don't need to export your data. You don't need to restart and recreate your configuration. You can just take your account, unplug it, and bring it with you. And so you get complete portability of anything that you've done in Cloze as well with this. But again, you can choose to connect as much as you want, so as little as you want with Cloze. You can also tell Cloze things like, don't bring in family and friends from my text messages, for example. And so you get a lot of choice about what information shows up in Cloze. But here's the thing that happens with this. And so no one can look at any of this information, but we use our AI assistant takes advantage of this information to start helping you with tasks and activities around it. And I'll give you some examples of that in a moment here. So for example, if someone, emailed you and said, blah, 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 give me a call Saturday morning, our AI is going to recognize that. It's going to realize that there's an action item, something you need to get done on Saturday morning, and it's going to automatically add this to your agenda. And so you get out of the business of having to manually manage your tasks. Our AI is going to take care of a lot of that for you. What we also do is we're going to automatically update your contact info too. And so if one of your clients, their email signature changes, our AI understands this and will automatically update your contacts. So we're getting you out of the business of manually managing your contact data. So the AI, again, is going to take care of a lot of this for you. Now, with all of that knowledge of all of the past people that you've talked with and worked with, we're going to be nudging you to reach out. And so the AI is going to find people in your sphere. It's going to recommend them. And you'll see it on what we call the agenda, which is what you see up here. And so you're going to get these recommendations to reach out to people. And so this is just a core part of what that AI does by looking at the information across your sphere and giving you these opportunities to reach out to people that you may not have thought of or may have forgotten about. Again, without any manual organization, without any tagging or any of that kind of stuff, our AI is still going to be giving you these suggestions of people to reach out to. And so as part of that, what you're also going to see is that we're going to keep track of your goals for you as well. So think of this, what we've done here is a little bit like the Apple Health app that you might have on your watch. What we're doing is fully automatic. It's designed to keep pace with the way you work. It learns from your past history of the way you work. Do you do most of your client outreach on Mondays versus Wednesdays, for example? And when do you do most of your sides during the year? So it learns from your history and automatically starts setting goals for you without having to enter any data, track things on a daily basis. But the nice thing is, if you update and say, I want to do more, I want to increase the number of sides I do this year, Cloze is going to know, again, based on your past history, how much do you need to change the amount of outreach you do to clients to make sure that you're going to meet your new sides goal. And so the goal tracking is based on all of that history and analysis of all of that history of all of the people you've ever talked with, all your client back history, and all of the activity related to them. We analyze that to build and automate this goal tracking for you. We're also going to remind you of things like key dates. So many of you use SkySlow, some use .loop. Cloze is going to hook into those and automatically pull the purchase anniversaries for your clients in, so that you'll always be reminded to reach out to a client, on their purchase anniversary and keep in touch with them. If you know people's birthdays, we're going to remind you about that. And so you can add in other events and activities that you want to be reminded of, but we're going to automate a lot of the core ones, like things like purchase anniversaries, sale anniversaries, things like that. So you don't need to remember to track that information yourself. And so as part of Cloze, there's really three things overall in the Cloze suite that you get access to as part of the EXP CRM of choice relationship. The first is you get access to our CRM. And so there's a lot of advantages here. By the way, we started as a mobile app company. And so everything that you can do on a desktop, you can do on the mobile phone. And 100% parity. If you look at App Store reviews, you're going to see great reviews of our app. But overall, this is one of the three pieces. The next piece that is part of the XP CRM of choice offering is our marketing suite. So we have deeply integrated our marketing with Canva, and I'm going to give you some examples of that as we get into the demo here. But our marketing tools, they use AI to be able to help draft listing descriptions, generate your bio, be able to create newsletters. We'll hook with Canva for creating marketing materials. And so all of that is integrated in the portfolio. And the third piece is our lead management system. And we'll talk a bit about this towards the end as well. But the idea of being able to get real lead to close analytics, the ability to automatically track what's going on, but do it without having to manually ever enter any information in the system. Because Cloze hooks to phones and it hooks to email accounts, we're going to pull in and track what's going on with clients and with your leads without you having to manually log that I've reached out to people or things like that. And so with that, I'm actually going to go in and show a bit of a live demo here. If we do that, we'll actually get back and show some additional slides after that as well. So let me switch over and get into the live demo here. All right, so what you're seeing here is what we call the agenda section of Cloze. So the agenda is where you start your day, you end your day. It really brings together all of the different things that you need to get done. And so this can include things like your leads that you might have. It will include, people to keep in touch with, those important dates that we talked about, things like purchase anniversaries. It hooks to your calendar, so it's also going to know your upcoming meetings and showings. Now, the thing about a list like this is no one really wants a laundry list of work where here's 20 things you need to get done, you figure it out. So everything in Cloze on the agenda has help built into it. And let me show you an example of that. So I'm going to go in and we're going to take a look, say, at this birthday reminder here. So if I tap on this, what you're going to see is it automatically brings up, I wanted to wish you a happy birthday. I hope all's well. And I could add a personal note of how are the kids and ask that. You can fully automate this, by the way, but a lot of folks we work with like to do personal notes on any of the communication they send with clients. And so you'll see here, wanted to wish you a happy birthday, hope all's well. But if I were to click on instead something like a purchase anniversary, you're going to see, can you believe it's been a year? I hope you're loving your new home. And so you're seeing a different set of information here. And so everything you tap on the agenda is, whether you tap to email, tap to call, tap to send a text message, all of that starting point for what you need is all built in. And then you can just put a little personal love around that. And one of the things, like if you send out something like a purchase anniversary reminder, a lot of folks will then do something like set a reminder for themselves, or they'll write on a piece of paper, remember to follow up with Michael Bluth in this case if he doesn't get back to me. Well, Cloze can do that for you. So I can just tap here and say, remind me if no one replies by next week. And so if he gets back to me, great, it'll show up in my inbox. But if he doesn't, Cloze is going to automatically bring this back to my agenda to make sure that I know to follow up on it. And so Cloze is going to take care of those follow-ups for you to make sure you're not missing anything here. And by the way, when I send this, it's going to go out of my real email account. So if you're using Gmail or you're using Outlook or you're using Yahoo, it goes out of your real email account. It shows up in your sent items. It is 100% indistinguishable from emails that you sent right out of Gmail or Outlook. But you do get things like open tracking. You'll know when your clients click on links in your emails. You'll know when they open it. And again, it's 100% indistinguishable if you send it out from Outlook. And so this gives you, a way to drive that communication and scale up the way you deal with your clients without having to write your content for every one of them. By the way, I could also go in here and say, I want to rewrite this. So we have AI tools built in that can help automatically rewrite things that you're writing here. So I could say, rewrite this for simplicity, clarity, authenticity, make it shorter, make it more salesy, which you wouldn't necessarily do on this kind of one, but you have the choice. Any kind of content, we have all of these tools built in to help you create the content, simplify it, and using AI to just rewrite it and give you a better feel on things. All right, so I'm going to go back to the agenda here, and I'm going to take a look at some of the other types of items on the agenda. So we've got meetings here, but one of the things we also do is we know that the last thing you want to do is, if you've got a showing, you want to show up at the place and your clients know where to be found. So we're going to remind you, maybe you want to reconfirm that with your client. And again, if I tap on this, it's going to fill in with all the information I need. I wanted to confirm our showing today at 2 p.m. Looking forward to seeing you there. And so I can send that off. And so I can go through the things on my agenda really easily. So tap to email, tap to send a text, and all of that has this help built into it. What you'll also see on the agenda, though, are some of these AI reminders as well. And so here's something Cloze has recognized as an important message. And so if I tap on that, let's take a look at why. And so what it says here, the client said to us, please send me anything that fits the bill this evening. So our AI picked up that there was an action item. It's due this evening. And so it automatically added it to the agenda to make sure we didn't miss it. So even if we only read the first part of this, or we didn't get back to our inbox or our messages, Cloze is making sure that we don't miss this important thing. And so the AI is there to really help you and make sure that you're on top of all of the things going on with your client. Things that are going on in their lives, things they're asking you for, things you've promised them. The AI is tracking all of those automatically for you. Now, I could go over to the people section of Cloze where you'll see all of my clients, but I'm going to go back to the agenda here, and I'm going to tap on one of the clients that Cloze is recommending we reach out to, which is Gina Harris. And so let me tap on Gina here and take a look at her profile. So what I see when I go to a client profile here is I'm going to see all of my past communication with that client. So I see every text message that I've done with Gina, every phone call, every email, and I'm going to see that as far back in time as I've ever talked with her. So in this particular case, we first started talking to Gina back in 2018, but I'm going to see the complete history of all of my past communication with Gina. And so when you start using Cloze, we go backwards in time and pull in your old text messages, your old emails, so we can build this view of all of your past communication with a client. This isn't only a go forward from the point you start using Cloze. We're going to go backwards in time when you hook up your email, when you hook up your phone, to give you that view of all of the past communication with your client. Now, and I can go and reply to anything from here. I can text from here and so on. But you'll also have access to notes you've taken, any documents or files that you may have related to your client. We're going to bring those in automatically for you as well. So you can see I have a bunch of things in my Google Drive that are related to Gina that Cloze has pulled in together to bring all of that information in for us. And so I've got all of that information in one place. All of my emails, phone calls, text messages, all of my documents, files, notes, to-dos, Cloze brings all that together so you have one place to view everything going on with your client. And so you can also deal with, from here, start to manage a little bit about, just organizing your clients. So again, Cloze will do a lot of its AI, even if you've never tagged or organized your clients. But we also have, obviously, organizational tools like the ability to tag clients. You can say where they are on some of the journeys with you. So here, Gina is a hot buyer for us. And so that sets up a series of, here's the things that Cloze is going to walk Gina through. This is all customizable, and so that you can bring in whatever kind of set of steps you typically do for following up with clients. So the moment I tag anyone as a hot buyer, Cloze is automatically going to start walking me through all the next follow-up steps. All of these can be automated too, with automations and activities around those. And so, in addition, I can also keep track of things like who referred me to client, who their spouse is, children around that. And so Cloze is going, all of the purchase anniversary, birthdays, all of these things like purchase anniversaries, they'll automatically be added from our integration with SkySlip for you, for example, or .loop. But you'll get access to all of that information and can bring it in. So I'll talk a little later on of how do you import your data into Cloze, but the general idea here is that what we're trying to do is really bring together all of the information around your client automatically so you don't need to update things. And again, we're going to automatically update your contacts, their information from email signatures, things like that, to keep your contacts up to date for you. So I'm going to switch over a little bit here, and let's go and take a look at my contacts for a moment. Just going to show you an example of what you might do if you're wanted to send out a note to your people on your holiday card list. So I'm going to search for everyone on my holiday card list. I'm going to select them all here. I've got about 100 there, and I'm going to go and send to them a note. Let's say, Happy National Potato Day, which is coming up in a few weeks, by the way, if you don't know. I think it's in mid-August, so we're almost there. Happy National Potato Day. Enjoy your spuds. So we've got a note that we're going to send out to all of these clients. Notice one of the things you'll see here, it's rotating the name here. This is a sign that we're going to send these out as individual message. Each person is going to get a unique message that's just for them when we send this out. It can be things as simple as these like nice text messages all the way through beautifully designed marketing pieces that we do as well in Cloze. But I'm just using a simple example here. But let's say I want to go further and I want to also CC people's spouses. You saw earlier on with Gina that I had tagged a spouse first. I'm going to add everyone's spouse to the to line here. And you'll see it rotate Monty and Lisa here, Sadie and Hank. So when we have someone's spouse, we're going to automatically bring them onto the to line of messages. So even when you send out these large scale messages to your clients, we're going to CC or bring together on the to line both of the people, in this case, spouses. And so it's going to look and feel natural to them as if you sent it out, you wrote this individually and sent it out to every individual one of your clients. So that's just a quick example of being able to scale up on the marketing side and being able to send. I'll show you some examples of content and things like that in a moment here. But I want to switch over and talk a little bit about listing marketing for a moment. And so when you go into Cloze, all of your EXP listings are going to automatically be there under the Properties tab. So we're hooked to the full feed of listings from EXP. So all your listings will immediately show up here. And so I have one of my listings, my West Hill Bear Island listings. Let me go in and take a look at that. Give you a feel for it. Nice home. I certainly wouldn't mind a home like this, but it's probably out of my price range. And so if I just give you a feel for what it looks like. Now, when I go to any one of my listings in Cloze, one of the things I can do is Cloze is integrated with Canva. So I can say, send this listing to Canva. And that gives me the option of creating templates for automatically creating marketing materials in Canva for my listing. So I'm going to choose my EXP listing pack here. And so when I click create, we've got about 9 different templates here. So Cloze is going to take all of these 9 templates and it's going to fill in the information from our listing into all of these templates. And it's going to customize them, automatically bring in the information. So I have all of my marketing materials for this listing automatically built for me. And so now I have single property website, I've got flyers, I've got things like Facebook ads all ready to go. And so if I were to take a look at that, let's look at one of these Facebook ads here as an example. So what you're going to see is it's got all of the branding, it's got all the details of our listing, all of our photography, all of the details about the listing are here as well. Didn't have to do anything to create this, just tap to say create all of my marketing materials. And so all of these materials were created in one fell swoop. But I'm going to go into the flyer and let's say we want to customize this flyer a little bit. By the way, even things like the QR codes here are already set up to link right back to your website. So if I took this and just directly printed this, anyone who scans that QR code, they're going to go right back to your website. And so, but let's say I don't like that headline photo, I want to change it. We also have an app in Canva where I can go in and go right to my listing and say, pull in a different photo for the headline image here, or change some of the description. So with a single click, I can create all of my marketing materials for my listing, but then I can go in and customize it and update it so it really has all of the touches that I need for it. And so we're working with the EXP team to bring together more and more of the templates that you have available to you so that they can automatically be filled by Cloze, just as you saw here. But in this particular case, again, we've got a single property website, we've got carousel stories, we've got real estate flyers, we've got various kinds of ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and stories. Everything here is all pre-filled and ready to go here. And so just gives you a feel for if I were to preview this one. I think this was an Instagram one. Again, all of the photos, all the details are there ready to go for us. All right. And so you can see it's really easy to, with Cloze or integration with Canva, you get the ability to automatically create all of the marketing materials that you need for your listing super easily. And then you can customize those and update them as you need. Now, if I wanted to take one of these, I can actually go and then send that as an email through Cloze. If I went into my flyer, I can also go and say, just send that as an email. So new flyer, let's say just listed, and send that out. And it's going to bring me back to Cloze, say which audience do I want to send that to. Maybe I send it to my sphere. And in a moment here, it's just creating that design and converting it into email format. And so I have all of that data ready to go in an email here as well. And so we have a really tight integration with Canva to make all of your marketing super easy and simple here. And I'm going to go and take a look at a few other areas here. So I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the marketing side in just a moment. But by the way, we do have analytics on all of the different things that will happen around your email marketing, things like for templates, you have all of the opens, click rates, reply rates, opt-out rates for any of your mail merges you send. We even track a lot, even for your automated campaigns and drip campaigns, we track activity. We're also going to give you a feel for just little things like where do you spend your time? Because we're hooked to your email, we're hooked to your phone, we have all of this information about what calls you're making to whom, what text messages, what emails. And so we can give you a view of where you're spending your time. In this particular case, we're spending most of our time with in-contract clients, and we're spending a lot with closed ones, but we're really not spending time with people who are earlier in our sales pipeline, people who are warm prospects that we're just getting ready. So if I were to look at this, I'd probably say I should be spending more time with my warm prospects. So the moment my existing customers close, I've got new customers ready to fill their spot. But we have all of this analytics from your goals, your activity, all the way through your sales pipeline. As you get into lead to close analytics, there's a lot of things here. I'm not going to go into a lot of the details of that, but let me go back to the marketing side. And so what I switched to is our marketing library. And so in our marketing library, you can create a lot of different kinds of content. So from personal emails, like something that is indistinguishable from something you type in for Google, all the way through marketing designs like this, a nice, beautiful, multi-image, rich designs you can create in our tools. As well as that, you can also have text messages in the library of content. You can have call scripts if you're working on a lead team, automated campaigns. There's a lot of different kind of content. We'll just scratch the surface of some of this in a little bit here. This is a good example of one. I'm going to go in and just take a look at some of the kinds of content. I'm going to go in and take a look at a piece of content. I grew up in Montreal, and so grew up speaking English and French. And I have a lot of friends who are English and French. There's a lot of places in the US as well where real estate agents need to market to people who speak both Spanish and English. And so I'm just going to give you an example of the ways that you can do that in Cloze. And I'll show you just a little building of emails here as well. But I have this newsletter that I've already built. It's my 7 Natural Wonders of Massachusetts with home improvement and other things like that. But this is an English language newsletter. And so what I can do here, though, is I'm going to go and say, translate this newsletter to, for me, French Canadian. And so now you're going to see I have all of the content in, no, it's actually not just French. I actually have English versions of the content in my newsletter too. So I've got things like my From the Vault English version, but I also have a French version of it. So what we now have is a newsletter that has both English and French. And we could add Spanish in here if we want. We could add another language to this. So let me go in and do that just for fun. We're going to add Spanish, Mexican Spanish in this particular case. So now we have 3 different languages in our newsletter. So let me step back and talk about one of the really neat things about Cloze is because we're hooked to your email and your phone and all of your leads, we run AI that figures out the language of all of your clients automatically. So every profile, every client that you have in Cloze knows what language they speak. And so if I take this newsletter and send it to, well, let's say to my entire sphere, if half of my sphere speak French, it's going to automatically send them the French language version of the newsletter. But if the other, let's say the other half speak English or Spanish, it's going to send that version of the newsletter to them. So each person that I work with is going to get the content in the language that makes the perfect sense for them. And you don't need to do anything about it. Cloze is going to take care of that automatically. A single send to an audience that speaks multiple languages, it's going to send the right content to the right members of that audience at the right time. And so this is one of the, if you do work in multiple languages, and I know only a subset of you do, but if you do, this is a great way to increase your productivity of having the ability to do this kind of multilingual marketing. But let me go back into one of the newsletters and just look a little bit at building things. So let me go back in and edit that here for a second. So this particular newsletter example, I have the ability to do what we call building blocks. So I can just bring in new content and that is already styled and themed. You have full control over the styles and themes and can bring in and edit things. If I were to take an image here, we've got stock image library. I like that little cat. Let's put the cat in our newsletter here. So we now have a newsletter about cats, although I'm a dog guy, so I'm going to put in a dog instead. Well, there we go. Good dog. I like that dog. We'll put that one in. And so we have our newsletter, dogs in this particular case. And so again, you've got a full set of capabilities here of lots of different kinds of content you can create. Everything you do in Cloze is also automatically works in both mobile and desktop for when you send it. And so if I preview that one more time, you see I can actually look at what it's going to look like for a mobile viewer who uses my newsletter versus the client. You see here it automatically put the dog picture below all of the, or above all of the text, whereas when it's on a desktop view, they're side by side. So we're going to take care of all of that to make sure no matter how your clients read the content you send, we're going to automatically format it the right way for them. Whether they look at it on their phone, a desktop, a tablet, we'll take care of that for them. If you go really advanced, by the way, you can even build a level of light animated GIFs in Cloze to give a little motion to the marketing materials you use. So that's kind of a quick look at some of the marketing tools that are sort of just build it your own marketing. But who wants to build marketing on their own, right? And so you could take, you've got lots of templates from Canva. You can start with those. We have templates in Cloze, but you often want to create very specific kinds of content for your clients. And so in Cloze, we actually use AI to help you with that. And so I'm going to go create a drip campaign from scratch here. And so I can ask the drip campaign to be about any topic, but I'm just going to pick one of the topics I already have used here. So educate home sellers on how to increase the value of their home. And so when I click start writing, it's going to create a 4-step drip campaign for me. And in this case, it's going to use English because that's the language I'm talking to this in. And so let's go do that. And so first, it's giving us the outline of our drip campaign it's going to create. So it's first going to have a drip on curb appeal, renovations, staging, and market trends. And so now we're going out and we're creating those 4 drips in our drip campaign. And so we've got, we've all, step 1, 2, 3, 4 of our drip campaign. But when we create content, we're not just creating text like most of these AI tools do. Here you can see we send one, we wait 2 weeks, we send another, we wait 2 weeks. You can edit all of this here. But in this particular case, what we have is all 4 of these newsletters ready to go. And if I were to take a look at one of these, we've got staging techniques for success, where it's actually bringing in information and details from third-party sources. So curb appeal, where it's got articles on other websites. So we're bringing in information from other websites about curb appeal. So when you send this to a client, it's not just a list of text. It's actually has other places to go, other things to read. And it's a great way to engage clients more than just sending them just a hunk of text. But maybe I don't like this this imagery here. I can go in and edit that. Again, I can just look for curb appeal. Let's see what other things that it might give us here. That's not a good one for if I want to show curb appeal, but we'll pick that just for fun. And so maybe that's the process of improving your curb appeal, is throwing things on the curb here. So here we now have updated our newsletter with new imagery, but we still have all of those articles. And if we don't like one of these, we can go in and also delete it or change it as well. But it's a really great way to quickly create content on, in that case, a drip campaign, but you can do it on all sorts of different topics. And so I could just create a one-off newsletter on trends. Let's say, you like wines and you want to trends in white wines for 2025. I've never run this one before, so I have no idea what's going to come up here. And let's look at overall matches of content. So it's going to create us a newsletter on trends in wines for 2025. And so we've got, trends in white. I must have mistyped that there. So that's what happens when you make the mistakes and do things on the fly here. So let me do that again here. Trends in white wines for 2025. All right, let's do that one more time here. And trends in white wines. And so I must have mistyped that previously. So now we have, again, articles on wine culture, wine trends to explore, Piedmont. So you can create really customized, simple newsletters on pretty well any topic you want. So if your focus, one of the things your clients know you care about is fashion or food or wine or any other topic, you can create newsletters that are on brand for you, but do that super easy and simple here. And so that's just a simple example of creating a newsletter on the fly. We make it really easy to create these beautiful content for you here. So I'm going to go now switch back and talk a little bit more about how do you use Cloze in Teams, and different capabilities there. So let me switch back to the slides for a second here. And so let's talk a bit about working as a team and the kind of things that you get in using Cloze when you're working together as a team, because you didn't see me focused on a lot of team stuff there. I was just showing the basic capabilities. But when you're working as a team, there's a few different things. Like when I go to one of my clients' profiles, you're actually going to see the communications of all of the agents on your team together. So you get a unified view of here's everyone that's talking with that client and all the things they're talking about. Again, they need to opt in to share their communication across with your other team members. But when you do that, you can get this single view of all of the communication that's happening across everyone on your team with a client. So if multiples of you are working with the same client, no one is left flat-footed. Everyone knows what's happened with that client before this. And so we'll also do automatic AI summaries. So if you just want to catch up really quickly on what's happening with a client, we're going to summarize all the recent activity for you to show that. So you get a very quick summary and you don't have to read all the details here. A great way to really catch up on a client if you haven't been working with them recently, but other team members have. And so one of the really neat things here is that you don't need to be sending your emails, making your text messages, things like that inside Cloze. You can do all of this 100% outside Cloze. So you could be on your mobile phone in iMessage messaging the client. You could be in Gmail sending emails to them. Cloze is still going to bring all that communication together and bring it into one place, so that you have all of that information in one place for you. And so that's one of the really nice things. You don't have to change the way you work to work as a team with Cloze. If you do have a set of people that are, let's say, multiple people that are calling the clients, for example, you can coordinate, make sure no one, multiple people aren't reaching out to the client at the same time. And so you see these little indicators at the side here. These show you who is actively calling, texting, emailing that particular client. So you'll know if someone else is in the process of reaching out to a client. So when you have a shared call list, this helps you make sure that none of your team, no one's going to step on each other's toes. No one's going to try and reach out to the same lead at the same time. It's a great way to manage that and just make sure that when you are working from a shared list to call or contact, that everyone is dealing with a different client on that. And this is sort of going a level deeper, that if you do have a team that are operating at different times, like you always have someone on call to deal with leads, you can manage your shifts for your leads inside Cloze and track who's available, so that people who are available, it will automatically assign leads to the available people, but the ones who are unavailable, they don't get the leads at that time. So you can manage the who's on and who's off with this really easily in Cloze, and just make sure only the people are on duty get leads at that time. Again, I showed you a little snapshot of some of the analytics, but when you're working as a team, there's a much broader set of analytics that you have available. Things like what each one of your team members are doing. So what calls are they making? How many emails are they sending? If you cared about things like bombs, you can actually go and track how many bombs are they sending automatically as well. We have an integration with BombBomb too, of course. And so Cloze can be tracking all of the activity for people on your team. What are they doing? Where are they doing it? So for the leads that you're dealing with as a team, everything that's going on for your team overall. When you're dealing with leads, we hook to hundreds of different lead sources. So leads can come in from really any kind of site, any kind of service you have. And we'll bring all of those leads together so that you get one consistent way to follow up with your leads. If you have something custom, it's really easy to bring in a custom lead source as well. But when a lead arrives in Cloze, you have a lot of choices for ways to be able to manage the routing across your team. So some of the basic ones, round robin, workload, jump ball, lead pawns, all of these are available to you. And all of these can be combined with things like filtering by zip code, specialty, the lead source. But when you do this, you'll typically also be tying into our automated nurturing. And I may step back and take a look at some of that. And you saw a simple example of a drip campaign that auto created there. But you can set up and create much more sophisticated automated follow-up campaigns. And I'll show you some of the interesting things there in a little bit here. But you can mix and match the automated follow-up together with assigning it to agents. So clients are never waiting for a follow-up. Maybe the automation's taking it. But the moment your agent starts reaching out to the client, the automation will turn off. It knows when your team members are talking, and it knows when they're engaging with the client. And so the automations can get out of the way, so your agents on your team can do the right thing. And of course, if someone doesn't follow up, you've got the ability to claw leads back from them and so on. Just to take a little look at what this type of thing looks like to give you a feel. And this is an example of a jump ball. So you're going to see everyone on the team who's eligible for that lead. They're going to see pop up right on their home screen. The lead's going to pop right up there, and it's single tap to accept the lead. In this case, it's a jump ball. The first one to accept it gets the lead. But once someone accepts it, then Cloze makes it really easy to reach out to them. A single tap, a single swipe to be able to reach out to that person, send them a text, send them an email. And as I said, at the same time, you can have automated follow-up plans. So you can mix and match a follow-up plan that has tasks for agents, where the agent does things together with fully automated follow-up. And I'll give you a little feel for that as we step back into the demo in just a moment here. So one of the important things to note, Cloze does not have a website built into it, but you can use us with pretty well any of the website tools out there. And so regardless of who you use for a website, or maybe you don't even have a website if you're a pure sphere seller, but if you do, what's going to happen is the website is still going to have things like forms on it. And those leads from your website, they're going to feed into Cloze as leads. And from there, we're going to automatically trigger workflows. We're going to trigger things like lead routing. Things like faves and saves will also feed from your website to Cloze. You'll see those on the timeline for your client as well. And your clients, because your website has an IDX feed, your clients are going to get their saved searches and things from your website. And so Cloze is really going to take care of all of once those leads are originated, all the way back through follow-up, through managing the transaction and going through there. The post-sale follow-up with the client, Cloze will take care of all of that for you. So what's included in your package for the EXP CRM of choice? So everything you've seen here, what we talked about is Cloze Business Platinum is included. So that's the CRM, the marketing automation, the lead management. Team support is included at no additional cost here. Lead management, as I said, is included at no additional cost. The multilingual part of marketing, again, is included at no additional cost. All of the things you saw with the Canva integrations, the ability to automatically create all of your marketing materials through the integration of Cloze and Canva, that's included, no additional cost. And there are hundreds of other integrations that are also included. We don't charge extra for integrations unless vendors charge us for them. And so for the most common solutions that EXP agents use, you're fully integrated with Canva, with SkySlope, Slack. I guess some of you use .loop. We're integrated with Zenlist, which EXP Access. You have EXP DialSafe, which gives you access to the national and EXP-wide do not call lists. That's integrated into Cloze as well. And all of your listings, they're automatically synced into Cloze. But if you use other tools, we work with hundreds of other tools as well. And so this is just a simple snapshot of some of the ones we work with. And so, you can pick any of these sets of tools. We're really tightly integrated into Cloze. One of our goals is to make the integrations that we do with vendors really robust, really full featured, so that you're never dealing with some really weak, light manual integration. When we build integrations, they're always designed to be really deep, really robust, and cover all of the common possible use cases. So let's talk a little bit about migration. So a number of you will be coming from other CRMs. Maybe you're on KVA Core, maybe you're on Follow Up Boss. I'll talk a little bit about how you get started here. Once you create your Cloze account, you're going to see some getting started steps, and I'm going to encourage you all just to follow along and do all of these things. These will get you the basics of getting started here, but I'm not going to go through the details there. What I'm going to talk about is the first one of how to get your data in from KV Core, Follow Up Boss, or other system. So what you need to do is you're going to go to your other CRM and export. So whether it's, again, Follow Up Boss, KV Core, et cetera, export the data from it. And when you tap on import your contacts, you're going to see this screen here. And so you get the choice when you go on, tap on import a file. You can do it yourself. You can use our mapping tool. It's a nice graphical mapper, or just have our team do it for you. So it's a service we include. If you have a file you want imported into Cloze, you just basically, this will send the file to our team. We may ask you some questions to understand the columns and the details of the file, but they're going to help get that imported into Cloze for you, so you don't have to spend your time doing it manually. So we're going to help you make that migration, make it super easy for you. Again, a free service we offer. And again, within reason, if your files are, we may have to get extra information or get you to clean up the files in some of the cases, but almost all the time we'll take care of the work for you. All right, and so you have all of those options. So in terms of help, again, because we started as a mobile app company, there's a lot of assistance that's built right into the app. That's kind of the way when you run a mobile product that you do it, you build the help into it. But you can go to help.cloze.com and look at our knowledge base. So there's lots of different, we have hundreds, thousands of articles on our help center that are really all of the common kind of things that we see. You can also reach out through chat to our support team from the help center. You can email our support team at any time, support@cloze.com. You will find on our help center that has links to a lot of the most common information materials you have available there. It will have both access, it'll link to Cloze University, where we have self-paced learning courses. It has access to videos, both long ones, short videos, as well as text articles. So we really try and cover all the different ways that you might want to learn and manage things with Cloze. So in terms of how do you get started? So you can go to exptoolkit.com/CRM of choice and then sign up. Once you sign up, that will give you the link to get into Cloze. And we do more of these trainings and more detailed things every Monday and Wednesday, noon East Coast, 9 a.m. Pacific. And so again, before you get started using Cloze, it's a good idea just to export your contacts from your old CRM, or if you have a spreadsheet, bring that, because as you get into Cloze, it's going to help. We're going to take care of managing that import for you and working with it for you. So with that, we're almost at the end of our time here. I'm sure our team have answered a lot of questions for folks, but I did talk about a few things that I was going to circle back on in here and give you just a view of some of the other kinds of things. I talked about things like other integrations with things like BombBomb and SkySlope and things like that. So you're going to see all of the integrations that you have in Cloze for listings. They're going to show up under things like your more options on a listing. In this case, the only services I have connected here are Canva, Cloud CMA, HomeSpotter Boost. I've got .loop here. If I had SkySlope, that would show up there as well. And if I want, let me go to a contact, for example. Let me go to Ralph Wiggum. I'm going to see some other options here, things like create a buyer tour for him. I'll see my EXP do not contact list in here, as well as different options. But if I wanted to say email Ralph here, I can go do that. And let's say I want to send Ralph a BombBomb. I'll just give you a quick example here. So I can go in, look at my entire library of BombBomb videos, or record a new one and include that. Super easy to be able to send a BombBomb to folks. So what we're really trying to do with a lot of Cloze is really bring together the marketing, make the marketing super easy to use, make the CRM have no data entry to it whatsoever, and the lead really manage all of the follow-up for you. The other piece I just wanted to give you a little look at is, let me see what I've got on examples of some automations here. So I have a simple lead campaign here just to give you a feel. This is when a new lead arrives, what are we doing? And so in this particular case, we've got a lot of different steps here that are sort of automated. One is that we're notifying the team that a new lead is available. That's a jump ball. We're adding the inside salespeople to their agenda to make a phone call. While that's happening, we're automatically sending them an email. We're waiting. We're driving additional phone calls. This is all fully customizable processes that you can set up and organize and create whatever kind of process you want. There's a lot of flexibility in here, both from basic things all the way through much more advanced capabilities, like the ability to branch by tag, for example, and create different kinds of information. Let me show you. Let's just create a brand new campaign from scratch here. So what we're going to do is, let's say we have a lead in, we have some information on them. One of the things we might want to do is take a different behavior if we have access to their phone number and can text them. So we have rights to text them, or we can only email them. So that's created a branch here that if I can text them, what I can set up is an automated text message to the client that I can use a text template for. I don't have any good ones here. I'll just pick a new, we'll create a new text message that we'll use. This will be our lead follow-up text message. Or if I can't text them, then instead I'm going to email them. So I'm going to automatically set up an email here. And by the way, Cloze has full integration into opt-out. It tracks and manages opt-outs. Even if someone responds to your text message with stop, it's going to automatically opt them out from future communication for you. But in this particular case, we're going to do then an email. And so again, I can actually take my email and see if I've got any lead ones in here. Lead email one, we'll do that. And so it's going to be able to now, when the lead starts, it's going to say, do I have can I text them? Do I both have a mobile number for them? And do I have any of the approved texting? And if so, we'll text. If not, we're going to fall back to an email. So you can create very sophisticated kinds of follow-up campaigns in Cloze. Many of you may never do that, but if you're on a team, these are the kind of things like your automation, you'll set up some, and our team can help work with you to help create these as well. So with that, I'm going to wrap up here and just quickly remind folks that for the eXp CRM of Choice program, again, you can start it by going to the exptoolkit.com/CRM of choice. Once you sign up, you'll get a link to get into Cloze, and that will actually walk you through the process of onboarding. And so with that, I want to thank everyone. I know we're at the end of our time here. So thank you all very much for your time, and look forward to having you give Cloze a try.